What would you say for someone who's been listening to this and remains quite skeptical, that maybe they're very happy with their digital marketing setup at the moment and everything's going fine, and they're a little bit skeptical that the digital side actually has too much of an impact compared to other things we could be focusing on. Do you have any thoughts for someone who maybe is still a bit of a skeptic after hearing some of this discussion today?
I guess there's two parts, right? Like you want to prioritize on the things that you can have the most impact on. And if this isn't a part of your world and there's other things that you're spending most of your day doing that you think can have more of an impact, I totally understand that. I think especially in the digital marketing space, I think it's harder to be skeptical because of how much data that we have. And I think there's an element of common sense to it as well. As like, we're going back to the beginning of the conversation, like we're all aware that to use computers generate energy, and you need thousands of computers to be in this world that we're in right now where everything's powered by the cloud. So I think around the actual metrics associated with it, I think that's one of the beautiful things around digital is that you have the data around it to try and address some of that skepticism. But and there's kind of a lot of conversation in the space around not being afraid to associate change with small incremental changes. I think that's the stuff that is actually going to make a difference and where you can start to see the impact over not the longest period of time. So
Got it,
yeah,
got it.
I think
No, that's good. I think it can be tough to convince a skeptic. So
yeah,
yeah, just thought I'd see if you had any thoughts there. So for those who've been listening along and think, yeah, I mean, this sounds like a no-brainer, and I want to go start implementing some changes. I want to go make a difference right now. Like, do you have any advice for those people? Any way you would suggest they go take a look and head to straight after they've listened and liked and rated this show?
I think the best place to start is communities. There's obviously a ton of online communities that you can go and explore for this. LinkedIn for me, I tend to find is where a lot of the good conversation happens when you're looking at some of the different social networks. But people might find better success with different channels. But even just quick search in community for things like green marketing or sustainability. Obviously, it's quite a business focused network or social network in itself, so you can find some good channels there. I got recommended a couple. Work for Climate is an interesting one. It's for people who want to go and basically find jobs in climate focused companies. But there's a lot of kind of broader conversation that happens alongside it. And Business of Purpose, both of these are Slack channels that you can apply to join. And there's just really good conversations that happen. The reason I say communities is because those places are really conducive for asking questions. And if you're at the beginning of the journey, I think sometimes it can be really intimidating to ask questions. The real like passion area for people, and you don't want to come across as completely ignorant about such an important subject, but these communities tend to be a really good place, an encouraging place to facilitate good conversations and questions around that. So I definitely point people to start there. And but there's definitely good books, and I'm sure we can share some of those as well, but that's where I found the best success in having conversations.